Will this video be 9 minutes and 37 seconds? I'll admit that was accidental. I did not try to do that on purpose. But we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and their 5 players. I think they're going to be looked at real closely to their week 2 matchup here against the New England Patriots. Just like a quick recap about everything. Looks like the Eagles are starting to get back in the momentum, and I know A.J. Brown's balling out against this defense, which at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about it because it's practice. But and then A.J. Brown, for everything that's happened in Philly, he is a really good wide receiver, so definitely give him that. But we're going to be talking about the 5 players who I think are going to really look after for this upcoming game. And starting off on the first one is actually 2 players, but they're going to be kind of as 1 and 2 on this thing, even though they're competing against each other. And that is Andy Dalton and Tanner McKee. Both quarterbacks kind of struggled against their first matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Couldn't really get anything going. If you want to go for yardage-wise, I think McKee had a few more yards than Dalton, but that also isn't saying much because none of the quarterbacks reached over 50 yards, which is not a good sign at all for the offense. But again, it's the preseason. I'm not too worried about it at the end of the day. But this is a huge battle between Dalton and McKee because if one becomes the backup and Cole Payton takes over the third string role, I think one of the other person that does not win this is going to be waived or traded. So, again, I think McKee has a little bit of an advantage over Dalton, even though Dalton has more experience. But McKee's more familiar with the Eagles franchise. He's used to a lot of players there. Whereas Dalton, this is his first time, so who knows? Maybe the experience helps out with Andy Dalton here. But obviously, Andy Dalton's career, he had a very long one. He had some great time. He had a lengthy career with teams like the Cardinals, the Cowboys, Panthers, and now he's here in Philly. And that veteran experience can also help out with players like Cole Payton and possibly McKee. But I think overall, I think McKee has that advantage. But who knows what will happen. But I really think that, again, McKee has the advantage. But we'll see what happens here in week 2. Next up, we're going to be talking about Markel Bell. Now, this was a player who I didn't think too much of. I had a feeling, he could definitely learn from Lane Johnson. But apparently he's getting better per practice, and that's a fantastic sign to see, especially now that now we know that this is more likely Lane Johnson's final season in the NFL. So obviously you want to have someone that can help out with the team going forward, kind of like how Kelsey did when he was about to retire by getting someone like Cam Jurgens. So I see a lot of upside with Markel Bell. And during his preseason debut, he did pretty well for himself. And during the training camp too, the O-line has been doing fantastic. Like they're really making sure that everything works well. Today, from today's practice, which was on Thursday, they created a lot of holes for Saquon Barkley to get through, and they really went after that Patriots defense like it was nothing. And that's fantastic to see, and hopefully someone like Markel Bell can take that next step, because it can definitely not feel like you're in danger to getting a new lineman because one of your best linemen of all time is finally retired, and now you're trying to figure out who you're going to get next. So Markel Bell, if he keeps doing well in the preseason and in training camp and in practices, I think he'll fit just fine. And now next up for our 4th player, and wow, I'm zooming fast on this one, but our 4th player is going to be Will Shipley. And I'm mentioning Shipley here because of one Dameon Pierce, who Pierce has been a very well-quality running back for this team, or for any team that he's been on. So the pressure is on Shipley, which he has his moments. Don't get me wrong, he does have his moments, but this is more for the running back 3 position because Saquon's locked in as running back 1, and then Tank Bigsby is running back 2. So now it's between Shipley Pierce, and there was someone else. I can't remember them offhand, so I do apologize that I didn't look into it that much. But it's definitely mainly between Shipley and Dameon Pierce on who's going to take that running back 3 role. Just like with the quarterbacks, if one of them doesn't make it, I have a feeling they can be used for like a trade for something that the Eagles might want to do, which I'm gonna talk a little bit more about after we're done this players review or players to look after, because of a certain defensive lineman who might take a little longer to recover from a torn pec, or he can learn from Cody Rhodes. I don't know, but Shipley is going to really have a lot of weight on his shoulders in this preseason and training camp because Pierce has great experience as a good runner for the depth. And I know we were already locked in with Saquon and Tank Bigsby, but again, it's between Shipley and Dameon Pierce. I want to say Damian Priest, but I know it's not Priest. I gotta get that wrestling fandom out of me for a little bit. But yeah, so Shipley's gonna have some weight on his shoulders, so we'll see what happens there. And then finally, the 5th player who I think we should pay attention to for this matchup is going to be Joshua Weiroo. Now, during the last video I made talking about players to look out for the Eagles when they take on the Ravens, I mentioned about War Bernard. And Bernard, he did okay for his time on the field on Saturday, but Weiroo, he was unique to see. 2 QB pressures and a QB hit during the game, and during those times, it wasn't like he got through the lineman and just stood there. Like, he ran straight to the quarterback, and that's what you want to see. Now, I know the defensive line is really good at doing that, and with some stuff I'm going to mention shortly, Weiroo actually might be getting a roster spot if he continues to play this way. So he could definitely make the 53-man roster, especially when a recent report has come out about Jonathan Greenard. Now, back towards the NFL draft this recent NFL draft, the Eagles did trade for Jonathan Greenard. I think they gave him a 3rd-round pick for him and then signed him to a contract extension. He was currently recovering from shoulder surgery. God, I can't talk. Shoulder surgery. And then while he was training, he did injure his pec. So the Eagles looked at this, and General Manager Howie Roseman has said, I'm not really too concerned about it right now. It's not going to be a long-term injury. He should be good to go. Well, last week it was reported that recovery time was a little slower than expected, according to Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator. And then it was also brought up by Fangio more recently that he might be missing week 1. So if he misses week 1, yeah, that's going to stink, but we also want to make sure that his pec can heal as quickly and as 100% as it can be, because obviously you want him to be on the field and not have to worry about further messing with any of the pecs, because even if you sleep on your shoulder the wrong way, you can feel it towards your pec. It is uncomfortable. So that's why I think that Joshua Weiroo might have a shot at the 53-man roster. There is one other thing I'm thinking of, and again, this could help Weiroo out get on the roster, but it would not surprise me if the Eagles try to make a trade. If the shoulder injury, or the pec injury, is a little more serious than it could have been, or than it should be. So my first thought right away was, okay, maybe they go after bringing back Josh Sweat, maybe try someone like Kayvon Thibodeau. Vita Vea wants to be traded out of Cleveland, or out of Tampa Bay, and that could be a note to look into. But then I also started hearing about Max Crosby. Now, I don't think the Eagles are going to go right away from Max Crosby. The only way, there's 2 things that I thought of that would make the Eagles go after Max Crosby. First and foremost, they have to be close to the Super Bowl. I think they're one piece away from winning the Super Bowl, and they're going to try to go this year. That's number one. Number two is if Jonathan Greenard's injury is way more serious than it needs to be, that he is going to be out for majority of the season. Because you already have a lot of great players on this team already. Like, even if Vic Fangio's even said that he likes Jalix Hahn. He does like Nolan Smith. He does like those players. They've been doing very well during training camp. And again, like performances like with Weiroo did, like the team's pretty stacked with edge rushers. But if they think that the injury to Greenard is that bad, and they are also very close to going to Super Bowl, like they're guaranteeing they're going to a Super Bowl this year. This is during the regular season. Because I'm someone who, as I guess a side thing real quick, I'm someone who, yes, I want the team to do well, but I'm also not like, Eagles go Super Bowl because we just got Andy Dalton as a backup. No, I'm not like that at all. I'm more of, okay, let's take it week by week and go from there. But back to this real quick. If they really think they're this close to getting to a Super Bowl and they think they're going to make it that next level and go to a Super Bowl again and win one, then you can look at someone like Max Crosby. Otherwise, I could see maybe going for Josh Sweat, bringing him back to Philly because he's not happy in Arizona right now. But we'll figure out what's going on. So again, as a quick recap, we are definitely past the 9-minute 37-second mark, so that's not happening for a third video in a row. But my 5 players who I think we should look out for this game against the Patriots, I mentioned about Andy Dalton, Tanner McKee, Markel Bell, Will Shipley, and Joshua Weiroo. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And also, who do you think the Eagles should trade for edge rusher if they are going to do that, if they're going to send Bernard to the unable to perform list, or the pup list as they call it. But yeah, just let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you do like gameplay, I do games as well. And starting on Wednesday, we're going to continue Mouse PI for Hire. And going to start doing streams on Monday, all right? So you guys have a good one. And always, fly, Eagles, fly, baby.